Stellar Blade has finally made its way onto Steam, onto PC, and oh my god, is this game performing well. I didn't expect this game to do as well as it did. Did I expect this game to sell? Of course. I'm not here to say that like I expected this game to absolutely bomb on Steam. No, I knew it was going to do well. Like, I knew it was going to sell some numbers. It was going to get a player base on Steam without a doubt, right? The game was very, like, you know, it was praised last year. Like, despite the fact that Eve is probably one of the hottest video game characters that we've seen ever. Like, I reckon she's in, like, easily top 10 hottest video game characters, without a doubt, right? But the game itself is good, which we're going to get into a little bit more as the video goes on. So with those two elements combined, I was like, yes, this game is going to do well. It's going to sell. But the fact that this game, in just the first, like, couple days of it being released, has peaked at over 183,000 people on Steam, and it's not even the weekend yet. Like, I'm recording this on like Friday night, but in Australia. Once like Saturday or even Sunday for me rolls around and the weekend starts to go for the rest of like the world, like when it gets to America, it being the weekend over there, this game could possibly hit 200,000 concurrent players. Without a fucking doubt. I do not, like, I would not put it shy of this game hitting that high of a numbers. And now when it comes to Stellar Blade, everyone's like wondering, like, damn, how is it that this game is doing so well? Like, what is it about Stellar Blade that has made it the best performing PlayStation game that's ever been released on Steam? So the amount of times that, like, you know, PlayStation has come out in recent years where there's been a PlayStation exclusive game and then it's been released later on Steam, this right here is the highest, like, concurrent players that has been with these, like, you know, PlayStation exclusives that have then moved over to Steam. The former number one was Ghost of Tsushima with 77,000 players. And now Stellar Blade has beaten it by over 100,000 concurrent players. And this is like other games like God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Neo 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Horizon Zero Dawn. These are some big games. Last of Us Part 1. These are some massive games that Stellar Blade has beaten out. These are like Game of the Year type of games that Stellar Blade has gone ahead and just like fucking absolutely blown out of the water. So what is it for the reason why Stellar Blade has reached these heights? Well, it's to me, it's a few reasons. And the most obvious one, which we'll get out of the way first, because it's so obvious of why it is that Eve is fucking hot. Eve is by far, she is so goddamn sexy. It is absolutely, oh my fucking lord. And oh my god, I hated that when this game came out on PlayStation last year, we had so many idiots trying to convince us and try to tell us that that the Eve model was terrible, that it wasn't good, you know, the fact that she was, you know, so hot wasn't good. You had this guy right here say this.
Do you think the character model was actually like very distracting in not a good way? Because like with the camera angles chosen, it just felt like this game seems like a game that came out in like 2002 in terms of its, you know, like character design. It's like a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience. In comparison to something like Forspoken.
Like, what would you prefer? This, the main character from Forspoken, or Stellar Blade's Eve? I mean, I feel like it's a pretty obvious answer of which one, like, you would want to play as. Like, if you had to give people, the gamers, of, like, pick which one you'd rather play, I mean, who's gonna say the main character from Forspoken? Like, maybe 1% of a percent, maybe even lower than 1% is gonna want to actually pick that character. I mean, of course people are gonna want to play as Eve. And then with Eve being such a hot character, right, is that the developers have allowed people to be able to mod this game as much as they want. And oh my god, have people already gotten creative. There have been some very good mods, some ones that, you know, pushing the limits of things, but you know what? The developers are fine with that. And the person who even modeled Eve as well, because yes, the Eve is actually like modeled after a real person. I know people might tell you that it's not, but it actually is. And some of these mods have gotten a little bit, you know, They're going far. I saw one where it made Eve like thick as hell, right? But my favorite out of all of them is always the goofy ass mods. And there's one gives Eve the Doomslayer like suit, and then one of the bosses turns into fucking Thomas the Tank Engine. So you're playing as Eve dressed as the Doomslayer, and then you're fighting Thomas the Tank Engine. This is what the modding community is for. I love this shit. And that's what players love. Players love to be able to choose what they want to do, right? And in a linear game like Stellar Blade, in order to give players choice, let them mod the game. Let them mod the game, because that gives players more of like, I want this. I want to add this into my game. And then they can. And they can go ahead and download it, and it's going to make them want to keep on playing or play it all over again because they see a cool mod come out. And this game has only been out for like a couple of days on Steam. It hasn't even been long. And the fact that this game already has like a few hundred mods, or I think even more, it's going to give it like a few months, and the mods for this game are going to be so extensive. And obviously, like, it's very obvious of the fact that, you know, Eve is an extremely hot character, and that's one of the reasons why it sells. But the fact is that the game is actually good. It's not like it's a shit game. Because if the game was shit, yes, it would get numbers, right? As much as it is. It would do pretty well, but then it wouldn't get like that good of reviews. Like, just look at a game like The First Descendant, right? Is that game peaked extremely high in terms of player numbers, but it dipped so hard because even though the characters in that game are fine as fuck, is that the game itself is shit. And players showed that in their reviews. I mean, it has over 100,000 reviews now on First Descendant, and it's only at 56%. Stellar Blade, it's only been out for like, what, a couple days now. It's got 8,000 reviews, and it's at 92% of the amount of people that like it. And the game will probably stay. I don't expect it to stay in the 90s, but it will definitely not dip below like an 85%, because the gameplay itself, like if you look at gameplay of Stellar Blade, the game's great. Now, is it like anything? I don't put this game on the level of like when it comes to the combat on like something like Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring is like a whole nother level of when it comes to gameplay, but it's still great. It's still an amazing game to play. Like, I mean, I myself, I haven't played it yet because the game is, you know, the game is not cheap, right? The game's not that cheap, but it's also not that expensive. But I still have seen so much gameplay of it. I've watched people play it, and I'm like, damn, this game still looks great. Like, it's not just fucking filled with, like, you know, oh, it's just the only reason it's doing well is because it's Guna bait. No, the game itself is actually good. And then when it comes to the price of the game, right, is that surprisingly, even though that this is a full price game, it's still selling well. Like it really is. The game is sitting at 110 Australian dollars, which is about 60 USD. And the fact is that, like, Doom the Dark Ages was only $10 more. Doom the Dark Ages was $120. And you know what? I reckon that $10 makes a big difference. I honestly think that that $10, the game being $10 cheaper than Doom the Dark Ages, 100% has helped it. Would it have still sold as much as it has if it was like $10 more? I don't think it would have sold as much and had as many concurrent players, but it still would have done like relatively well. But I think that $10 definitely made a hell of a lot difference of when it comes to selling the games. It just goes to show that, hey, prices of a game, you know what? It's fine to have a game that's still like, you know, 60 USD, because if you put a game at a reasonable price, people are going to buy it. You don't need to hawk up your prices in order to make, you know, your money back for these big AAA games. All you need to do is make a game that's really great, that has a hot ass fucking character, good gameplay, sell it at a reasonable price, and people are going to fucking buy it. And when it comes down to it, the success of Stellar Blade on PC, this is going to have a ripple effect of when it comes to games moving forward, right? Because in recent times, all right, we have seen a lot of games where they make ugly as fuck characters, okay? We have seen it so many times. I mean, I made a video about this last year that got chucked up on Gaming Circle Jerk Reddit, right? The absolute cesspool of that Reddit page. And I made a video talking about how, like, you know, do gamers want attractive characters? And this right here, the success of Stellar Blade, just goes to show that yes, gamers want two things. They want good gameplay and hot as fuck characters. That's what they want. That's it. Just give it to us. And you know what? This is going to have a ripple effect that we ain't going to see no more fucking Concords, no more Dustspawns, Star Wars Outlaws, where they completely butchered the fuck out of that actress's face, right? For the final character. We are going to see, going forward, we're going to see where companies are focused on gameplay and good looking characters. And you know what? I'm all fucking here for it. Because that's what we deserve. That's what we want. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. Have you played Stellar Blade yet? I would like to hear what you have to think of the game so far. Are you going to buy it at a certain point? Me, myself, I haven't bought it yet. But I will be getting it at some point. Money is very tough at the moment. So I'm saving up for it. But that's going to be it from me. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.